Impact, good shot.
Alright guys, just another quick informational video about how I resize for bolt action rifles. I did one for semi-autos, so I figured I'd go ahead and give the other side of the spectrum for this. Now, this isn't the only way of doing things for this, but this is the way that I have found to be rather efficient and to produce rather accurate and consistent ammo. Bolt actions inherently for reloaders can be more accurate than a semi-automatic just because you are more able to consistently bump that shoulder down and you have less of a distance between the neck and the shoulder and the inside of the chamber. But again, this is just my way of doing things. There might be other ways to do it, but just give you an idea of how I like to resize these guys. So as always, just with the 308, I will use a piece of isomat as a base to lube my cases. I do that just because I don't get any kind of lube inside the case, and I can just wipe them down and go ahead and commence to loading them afterwards. Especially for these, they don't really get that dirty because it's in a bolt action rifle, so I don't have to worry about it as much. But I'll dump a little bit of lube, spray it on the face of the isomat, and then get it all around, nice around the neck of the case. Run it up through the sizer. Now these do have to be annealed. They are a little bit stiff right now. They do need a little bit of annealing done to them. These cases is about 8 firings since they were last cleaned, or last annealed rather. But from there we're going to go ahead and go over to the rifle, and I will show you how I check the freshly sized case to the rifle. Now once I've got the case resized, what I will do is I will take a rag or a paper towel or something and clean all that excess lube off the outside of the case body and the neck, just because I don't want to get any of the lube stuck inside the chamber. Now, one of the things that I'll do for the very first time loading or resizing one of these cases is I will actually remove the entire firing pin assembly out of the back end of the bolt. Now, this is something that if you don't know how to do already, there are a lot of videos on YouTube showing you exactly how to do this. It's not really difficult to do per se, but it is a task in and of itself, and you'll see that if you learn how to actually do it. They can be kind of difficult to get out sometimes. But once you've got the thing out, you'll notice that the bolt will just drop under its own weight. There's nothing giving it resistance, and that's what that's going to allow you to do is feel exactly how much tension you've got on the case neck, on the shoulder of your freshly sized piece of brass. So what I'll actually do is I will take and hand feed the case into the chamber, and you'll notice that now it's not falling under its own weight, and what's happening is it's actually just barely pushing that case, and the shoulders of that case just barely kissing the inside of the chamber, giving it just a little bit of resistance. There is a sweet spot between having too much and not enough resistance on the inside of your case. If you're having to wrench it down really hard, you're kind of having a hard time seating it in there. That is an issue. You haven't sized your case back down enough. And then vice versa, if the bolt is just falling under its own weight with a case in there, then you bump that case down a bit too much. So what I like to do is I'll start kind of just barely touching the face of the shell holder, and then I will bump the shell holder, just barely move it, and resize and check until I found that perfect spot. And this one has been pre-sized. The case is already set up for this rifle, and it is, like I said, it is a very accurate way of doing things. At least I found these particular reloads has a 4.3 standard deviation, and I have an extreme spread of like 10 feet per second or something like that. I have to go back and look at the data book again for that. But it is a very, very consistent load, which is what you want whenever you're doing reloads. That's going to translate to really good accuracy down range. And this particular rifle, I have taken it out to 1,500 yards, and with great success, been able to engage a 20-inch plate with it. So again, that's just my way of doing things. There might be other ways of doing it, but this way works for me. And if you guys want to give it a try with your bolt action rifles, feel free. If you have any questions, just let me know. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, happy shooting.